All right. We are recording, by the way. So if you don't want to be recorded, too late now. You can leave, but the recording is rolling. But for those that want that disclosed, Leah can't be here tonight. She is off being a professional photographer in the world. And we have Liz Miller-Gershfeld as our co-host. Hello, Liz.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Kyle.
Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. And when I what you've been up to, you've been like, I've been monastic was, I think, the term you used.
Yeah, that's how it felt. Like I was saying earlier, I'm sorry, my dog's barking.
All right.
Wait, come here. Yeah, it has felt like I've been monastic. One, Chicago winters contribute to that. And being an empty nester and has given me like that space. And I've been going deep and broad in just trying to build and learn in the AI space. As you know, I was a producer in the advertising space for 23 years. I was an agency producer. And I left my job and then was trying to figure out what I wanted to be when I grow up. And was very excited about the AI space. But I think I said to you, it was like a year ago, I felt like I rolled onto a super highway wearing one roller skate. And I was just so overwhelmed and so many tools and so much to learn. And I've been, inching along. And so but I've been making a lot of things and building a portfolio, basically, of show capabilities.
Amazing. Yeah, I was saying to you, I've been, oscillating wildly between being, super enthusiastic and just like, does any of it actually matter? And then, and then you talked about, sort of finding a single thing to focus on. And it hit me when you said that's the thing I've been avoiding. I've got commitment issues with picking a project right now because I know if I pick a project, I'll know what tools to use. But then I'm like, I start down a project path and I'm like, I don't really care. There's all these other things to do. So I sort of dip my toe in the water and then I back out and I go, no. So I'm kind of in a nothing place right now, which I don't think it's a bad thing, but it doesn't feel great. Like it's not super exciting.
I think the word oscillation is the perfect word because it really is sort of how it's like you immerse and then you process. I'm like you let it all marinate.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, for me, the commitment thing, I get it. Like in the beginning, I was like, I've got to build a business. I've got to build something big. And I don't want to invest all of my energy in building something enormous.
Yep.
So it's been a lot easier to build portfolio pieces, small things, small experiments that are not just, I don't want to say just play, but not play alone. Mindfully create, but not something that's going to take over for weeks and weeks.
Yeah, but so what we're going to do, so we'll go through some of the basic, getting things kicked off, but I want you to unpack for everyone a little bit of what you're doing, because as you were showing it to me and talking to me about it, I think what's happening in your life as a result of this focus and just making some things here and there is really, really exciting. Yeah. And I think there's some really good lessons in it. So I'd like to do that. And then what we'll do, so welcome everybody. This is the AI Salon. If you didn't think you were coming to the AI Salon meeting, why you have. It's a meet and greet. And so we're going to meet and we're going to greet. The AI Salon was created. We started. We had our first meeting the week after ChatGPT came out. The whole idea with the salon is to get together once in a while and talk about what's going on and what we're learning and what's good and what's bad and what's indifferent and everything in between. And the meet and greet meetings are one of my favorite because this is where we all get a chance to say hi to one another. So I would encourage you to turn on your camera if you can, if your camera presentable, even if you think you're not, you probably are. I notice people are like, oh, I could never be on camera. And then they come on, and they look fine. But you know, that idea of connecting in community, we had an idea about it when we first started the salon. It feels more important every day as you know, people are being laid off and there's all this craziness going on, and AI is getting more and more and more powerful and is going to displace people. I think being in community is kind of the single greatest antidote to that chaos. It's also the easiest way to learn and the best way to learn. And that's what the salon's all about. We've got a journey to AI readiness, we call it. We used to call it a journey to AI literacy. And what we realized, actually, it was Ann Murphy who's on the call, that I was talking proudly about, you know, AI literacy. And she was like, literacy doesn't feel right. Like, I don't feel literate. I don't feel like you can get literate anymore. And we realized that things are changing so fast right now that being truly AI literate is effectively impossible. Because the thing, and in fact, Ethan Mollick just did a post on this week where he said, the course that you took 6 months ago, yeah, that's probably, like, all of that stuff you were taught is probably useless at this point. But what you can be is ready for AI. And this little 3-step journey was actually inspired by a conversation we had with Liz, I don't know, a year or so ago. And this is really what most of the salon is about, is just start with play. Just play with these tools, play first, and then mindfully create. Is, you know, once you start to get your head around the tools, you know, pick a project, pick a focus, do something, and then, you know, build something there. And then the entire time you're doing that, learn out loud and generously lead. And the idea is, you know, as you teach what you'll know, you'll help other people, you know, get up onto the surfboard, and you'll also anchor your learning by teaching other people, and it just makes it a really remarkable community. And so with that, let me pop on over to the salon website itself. So when you first get to the website, you land on this welcome page, and there's a welcome video here from Leah and I, and then we talk about this idea of the journey to AI readiness. There's 5 stages of AI adoption. But we've got a new thing that I'm really excited about. I don't know if Vicky's in here yet, but you can now earn a badge. So we've got this start your adventure 7 steps to sort of getting up to speed with the AI Salon. You know, welcome, introduce yourself. So go into the introduce yourself section. If you haven't done this yet, do it. Learn our values, which I'm going to have Liz go through the values in a second here. Watch past meetings, RSVP for the next event. Jump into the water cooler and have a conversation, and then help us grow with some social media tags to talk about the salon. If you do all 7 of these, and you kind of self-select, yes, I've done that, yes, I've done that. So you go through the list, you do those things, and then you earn a badge as an AI, what's it called? An AI trailblazer. And so once you have that badge, then when you post things in the salon, you'll have that badge. So we have badges now. So that's super exciting. But with that, Liz, I would love for you to walk through our values, if you'd be so kind.
I'd be happy to. All right. So what we value: curiosity. We are eager to ask the obvious questions, learn new things, and experiment, experiment, experiment. Our relentless quest for adventure and exploration ignites our inner spark, transforming our curiosity into unexpected discoveries and newfound passions.
Yep. This is one. I mean, I think if there's a prerequisite for the salon, this is it. Like, just be curious, because there's so much to learn right now. Like this one, you know, if you're not curious right now, it's kind of a bad time for you.
Yeah, that's right. Playfulness. We value playfulness. We value creativity, joy, and the freedom to experiment. We play first and transform learning into a captivating journey. We collaborate and mindfully create together when we can to learn more, make friends, and develop new circles of trust. Remember, all work and no play is how we did things before the salon. Empathy. We're respectful, inclusive, and kind. We value diverse perspectives, recognizing that our differences make us stronger. We accept that people might be afraid and angry, and we work to understand them. We actively practice gratitude and acknowledge the efforts and successes of those around us. Humans matter. Bravery. We have the courage to step into the unknown, taking bold actions in the face of fear and challenging ourselves to push the boundaries of what we thought possible. Let's face it, with everything changing as fast as it is, we're all making this up as we go along anyway. That is the truth. Might as well be brave about it.
Yeah.
Generosity. We're willing to share our resources, feedback, and wisdom with others and support each other's growth and development. There's so much happening and so much to learn. We can't possibly keep up with it all. Understand that even if something is obvious to you, it might be a profound revelation to someone else. Learn out loud, share what you know, generously lead.
Yeah, and this is again, I think one of the things that makes this community special is it's all these things combined, right? It's, you know, people tend to have fun, they're playful, they're willing to take a risk, they're curious, but they're also, you know, just willing to welcome someone in who is starting, you know, right at ground zero, right at the beginning. And that is a very rare thing. I mean, I've been in lots of communities over the time. They tend to sort of calcify and when new people come in, it doesn't feel like a friendly place. And the salon isn't one of those because of that. And that's why we go through these every time we have a meeting. So thank you, Liz.
My pleasure. I'm always struck by something new with those. And, you know, the thought of curiosity, it strikes me that if a person is competitive, they're not, they can't possibly, it closes. It's like it's a one-way. If you're competitive, you don't feel curious. And if you're curious, you don't feel competitive.
Yeah. And there's some communities that are based on expertise. Who's the most expert, right? And if you're who's the most expert, you know, by definition, curiosity is not a safe place to be, because to be curious, you're going to be in places where you're not the expert, right? You're going to be in places where you're discovering things. Yeah, so that's a really good insight. Thank you. So a couple of things. One of the things that it's taken me a long time to get my head around Mighty Network. So if you've never been in the site before, down the left-hand side, there's all sorts of things to do, and I'm going to go through some of those. But one of the nice things is at the very top, there's a main feed, and if you click on that, any of the spaces that you're following down below, you'll get inputs there. And then there's also this events tab, and the events tab will, you know, take any events that kind of have been created down in individual spaces and congregate them, you know, up at this higher level place. And so, you know, there's your Life Hacks Club. Here's tonight's meeting. There's the Business Guild coming up. Pate Motter doing a demystifying AI this Saturday. There's a Learn Out Loud on Sunday. So if this isn't a place that you regularly check, there is a lot going on in the salon. There's a lot of generosity and leadership happening from people that are just willing to put themselves out there and teach you what they know. So take advantage of that. Within the community, there's a community corner. There's a news area. There's a show off area, but the show off areas are really cool because not only can you show off your work and see other people's work that they're showing off. Oh, there's something from Liz. Oh, that's beautiful. Gorgeous. And we're going to talk about this in a second, the new mood board from Midjourney. That's beautiful. Not only can you show off, every one of these sections has an area. If you have questions about the tools, like, well, my. well. If you have questions about the tools, you can do that. There's also a list of tools. If you're trying to figure out where do I start, every one of these sections has, you know, a tool area that there's vetted things that you can go and use these tools. So really powerful. And then there's clubs and hubs and individual little sub communities within the community. So please take advantage of that. If you haven't joined the salon, it's aisalon.mn.co. And then I want to talk to you about, so you might notice my background here and some new graphics within the salon for the values, and Liz's background and some other people's backgrounds in the area. We've created, if you're a Midjourney subscriber, and if you've ever played with mood boards, or even if you haven't, we've got an official AI Salon mood board, and it's this little number up here to the right, S3PYM2F. Remember it. Unfortunately, there's not a way to easily share it without sharing a code, because Midjourney's a little geeky still, but that's okay. It's a very cool thing. If you use that profile, so you type in your prompt and then you type -- profile or -- P and then that code, and then you can do -- S for style, and that number should be anywhere between 50 and 1,000. It will give you images that are in line with the AI Salon brand. So if you want to create images that you want to share and show and tell, or you want to, put something, an image for your event, you can do it in a way that's on brand for the new branding of the AI Salon. And I'm super excited about this. So I'd encourage you right now, if you've got access to Midjourney, go play with this profile and then share some images in the image show and tell section. Liz, this is just the coolest thing, isn't it? I mean, you actually reached out to Leah and I, and because you hadn't seen this before, right?
Yeah. I like the aesthetics very much, and I like the open source way you're deploying it. I think that's super cool. And I feel like that brand, that move is so on brand.
On brand, yeah. I mean, this is part of the play thing, right? We could lock it down and say, oh, this is our mood board and this is our proprietary thing. But there's something for me about us being able to self-express our own ideas in a consistent way that is kind of cool. Like it is on brand, and it's generating things that we can use, in presentations and videos and things like that. And it's just a cool look. I think so. Leah put this together. She and I did an exercise in ChatGPT where we talked about our values and things like that. And then we had ChatGPT actually create mood boards. If you've never tried that, try it. You just tell ChatGPT, give me a mood board of whatever you've just been talking about, and it will create, an image with different images on it. And so we did a bunch of those, and then Leah took those and pulled individual images out of them that she actually liked, and she kind of built these mood boards in Midjourney. So the way you build a mood board in Midjourney is you add a bunch of images that are in a whatever aesthetic you're looking for, and then you can name it. You can update them and change them and things like that. But that's how these were created. And what I love about them is that they don't feel AI, right? They feel very analog. They feel very, olden timey, collages and things like that. So anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, it's that it's curated by Leah, who has so much taste. And so for people who are just starting with Midjourney and they want to have a satisfying output, because it isn't always, you're sort of guaranteed that you're going to have some sort of satisfying result, and it can kind of get you going.
Yeah, because if you just go in and you just put in whatever, a raccoon on a bicycle, you always get that weird sort of semi-illustrated, semi-photographic, like it looks very AI, right? Yeah. And so just to know that you have something here that you can dial up and down the style and get lots of different things. So anyway, that's that. So please go off and play with that. I would love to dig in, Liz, if you'd be so kind. I know this is kind of a spontaneous thing, but when you were talking with me before about some of the things going on in your life, which are really exciting, but also what led to that, and the journey that you've been on, I feel like you've got a couple of major phases that you've gone through. Could you just sort of walk us through what's going on with you? Because that's super exciting. But then also what's sitting underneath that? Because for me, that's the thing that I'm like, I got really inspired and really excited by what you told me an hour ago.
Okay.
And I want for everyone else to hear what's going on with you.
All right. Well, I'll try, but you might have to facilitate a little bit if I start to draw my social anxiety blanks.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're remarkable. Just go, go, go. No apologies.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I've been really fortunate in that I am starting to have collaborations with professional photographers. I'm working on a collaboration right now where it's I'd say a very obvious use case for AI, where they're shooting the foreground elements photographically, and there'll be hands, a table, cocktails, that sort of thing. And then in the background, I'm creating these worlds, and then I'm also going to animate the stills. I'm not using AI tools to animate the stills because they need to be locked down so that, because we're going to have camera movements. So instead I'm using an After Effects workflow to animate the stills. So you can create layers and sort of, it's kind of a magical world. And then creating the soundscapes for them in 11 labs. And then my workflow for that is I bring that into Adobe Audition and then create sound files for them. And then they're going to put it all together in a Premiere Pro workflow. So, those sorts of collaborations are starting to happen. Another team that works with an Unreal Engine workflow is, we're talking about a collaboration, and that's going to be very different. And so I've been really building out my portfolio because there are more of these collaborations that are starting to happen. And some collaborations are photographers or teams that want to just understand what's possible and what can we do together. And that's really been like, I've had to go, after working at creating work at a high level for many years, you realize that you have to be very discriminating in like what makes it out and what doesn't make it out. And so I've really been sort of investigating this question: what is AI good at? It's not good at everything right now. It's going to be really good at a lot of things that it's important to learn and understand now so that you'll be ready.
Yep.
But it's also not good at some things, but there are things that it's good at. So I started, making images and sharing the images. And
where are you sharing them? You're sharing them on, like, I want to get, if you don't mind, I want to just get really pedestrian here. Like, like you're sharing them on Instagram, you're sharing them on, like, where are you sharing them?
Instagram's my main place where I have a broad network of other creatives, of other people from the agency and advertising ecosystem. That's my main place.
And so I assume that when you were doing producing in the agency world, what was shared there was projects you were working on where you were sharing other people's work that you had produced. Like, what was has there been a shift in your Instagram from stuff that you produced of other work to yours, and have people noticed that?
When I never really, I was not the person who would share a lot of the work that I was making there. Maybe I'd share it on LinkedIn or something like that, but I wouldn't share a lot of that work there. I'd share behind the scenes snaps, like cool day in Barcelona, we're shooting, those sorts of things. But
the tapas were amazing.
The sharing of my own work has been surprising to some people who didn't. other agency creatives knew I was creative. They would often leave me with the photo shoot.
Oh,
Like, oh, you got it.
yeah.
But there are people who maybe didn't know that that was. Ooh, I have an echo. Is
I don't hear it. Sounds normal here.
so. So I started making stills in Midjourney, and then I took the Curious Refuge course, and I started sharing little shorts, and so I've been actively making little short ideas, little moving ideas, little weird little things, and then I started thinking this needs something else, and just recently when Claude 3.7 came out and I heard the term vibe coding, I was like, what else could I do here that could be attached to this creative idea? So, like all kinds of things, like what kind of image changer could I make? So I made a little image changer, and
so I want you to show. Do you mind showing some stuff off?
yeah, I'm happy to.
Okay, so just hang on one sec. I think Mark Prinsky might have a question for you before we. You're muted, Mark.
Question is for later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because show me, and then the other thing that I want to. So, if you're willing to share it, you've potentially got some representation now.
Yeah, that's launching officially in April. I'm going to have a commercial agent.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I know.
Congratulations. And again, where did that come from? How did they find you?
I know a lot of agents from my work as a producer for many years, and so they've known me to be a creative. They've known me to be a creative producer, and now they're seeing the AI work. And the producer. What I learned is there's a trade show, an advertising trade show. It's called Le Book, and you have this thing that people fill out that says what's the main thing you want to see that you're not seeing, and everybody was saying AI artists, AI artists.
Really?
AI artists. So yeah.
So that's interesting. So the agents are looking for AI artists. Okay, so there you go. So
people are building rosters, people within their rosters, and it's a tender deployment because a lot of photographers are not there yet, understandably. And a lot of creatives who are playing with it are feeling like, how does this work with the way we've been working, which is you go around and around and around, revisions, very specific expectations up front. So it's a very different way of working. And this is why it was important, I think, what I said, what is AI good at? And I'm creating sort of an interactive document sort of tool to try to describe what kinds of problems and what kinds of projects are going to be appropriate for an AI workflow, and which ones are like, nah, that's not right. Like, I can't help you with this.
But this is super critical. I mean, I think for everyone on the call, your career, Liz, was over in the world of, even though you were a creative producer, you were a producer, and other people were sort of executing the tactical stuff. Now you've got access to these tools where you're like, well, I'm doing it now. And
fun.
Because of that, a whole new world is opening up for you. And so I would encourage everyone on the call, if you've got taste, if you're making stuff, this is why learn out loud. This is why to generously lead. This is why to be in community, because as the stigma of AI starts to erode, which it will, and it is, there's going to be a hunger for people that know anything. And so even if it wasn't your career and you're like, oh, but I just dabble over in this thing over here, that could become your career, right? So with that, show show them some of the stuff you showed me earlier, because it's super exciting. I love what you're building.
Thank you. Okay. Well, all right. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to show you just this. When I was saying how can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, this is something I just kind of whipped out with Claude just as an experiment. So don't take it too seriously. Gradient transformer, but it kind of brings up this question of what kinds of transformations could I envision? Could anyone envision? So let's see, let's bring an image in. We're gonna bring this image and we'll say yellow, green. And so it's, it's so silly, right? There's a gradient angle. You can have fun with it. I mean, if I really wanted, you can really get into these tools and have more fun with it. And then you can download the transformed image.
And just to be clear, if you haven't played with Claude, you go to claude.ai.
Yep.
You say, I want to create a tool that does this. You describe it, and then it writes the code, and it's got this thing called artifacts where you actually get to play with the application that it wrote you. That's what you did here, right?
That's what I did. And what I'm learning is that there is, just like any prompting, the more you work at it, the more you can be specific in the prompting. Like I gave it hex code number, for the actual site itself. I wanted it to have a certain color, and you can get into learning how to listen. I'm no coder, but I understand that I need to be able to describe CSS so that, and there's just a lot of descriptions that you have to get into. So I made this. I'm not going to show it tonight because it's sort of a work in progress, but I'm making an introversion heat map so that like the level of introvert you are you can play with that. It's like an interactive bubble map. I'm working on an idea with these like spurious correlations. Correlations are not causation. So, things like I was telling you, like national consumption of yogurt and how it correlates to UFO sightings in Florida. But there's this data that's available. And so you can take this data and you can give it to Claude, and the more you can give and describe what you want, the better it is. And then there's this thing called VS Code that I downloaded. It's a free download. You just put it on your desktop and then you copy and paste the code from Claude. You stick it in VS Code, and then there's a free plugin where you can then deploy it and test it online, like I'm doing here. Okay, now let's see another stop present. Oh, and present something else.
Oh, can you, Ann Murphy just asked, can you do a quick share before you share your next thing? Pop into Midjourney and show Ann how to do put the profile into a Midjourney prompt.
Yes, let's do that. Okay, let's see here.
Since you're show and telling,
I'm happy to do that. And so that's really fun. And I do want to ask the community, so I've just started getting into this idea, and part of what I'm building into it is that on my personal website, on my portfolio, I'll have an image that relates to whatever the idea is, the spurious correlation or the gradient changer or whatever. And so you can click the image, and then it takes you to the little chart graph,
to that tool, to the tool that you're making.
The tool. And then
Sorry,
I played with Manus today too.
So. Oh yeah, man, Manus is another bonkers one. The thing that strikes me, Liz, while you pull up Midjourney, The thing that strikes me is, as you're describing this, I mean, you're going from someone who understood pictures and art and creating things and maybe some video stuff in there, and now you've sort of blown through that, and now you're creating, applications, and you're merging them together. So you're creating applications as self-expression. This is feeling very, very reminiscent to me of the early days of the web, where if people were willing to learn a little bit of HTML, they could express themselves in all sorts of ways. And early on, it was a very, very creative place. And what you're doing right now feels very much in that neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, listen, it feels like like you're DJing. Like I love the term vibe coding.
Yeah.
And I have to say that I had to really work hard to unlearn the story I told myself that I wasn't technical.
Ah.
That I didn't have those capabilities. And I mean, I'm a person, I used to like break out in a cold sweat when I would have to make an Excel document. And, it just, I'm like, oh, I'm not technical.
Right.
But there was something that just really like lit me up about this.
Yeah.
And you start learning the tool and then you stop thinking about it. It becomes less clunky. And then you learn another one and you practice. It's just practicing and practicing and practicing. And then when the ideas occur to you, you start stringing them together in this like intuitive way.
Well, and that's I guess what you're describing is a really fluid transition between play, mindfully create, and generously lead, is sharing the work with the world, sharing what you're learning with the world, right? That,
right.
As you get more, maybe what it is as you let go of the limitations you once told yourself, it gets easier to sort of flow between those states because you can learn more tools. I don't know.
Yeah, my own personal sort of like the threshold something has to meet is I have to feel like there's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
It can't just be like, oh, here's a pretty picture for me. And I mean, this is just me coming from a discipline that I practiced for many, many years.
Well, people were paying a lot of money for the work you did, right? So it had to be good.
Me personally, if there isn't an idea that holds something together, then I'm just practicing, and that has value, but I'm not sharing. At least I'm not sharing in a certain space.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up the Midjourney, but somebody has to give me some idea of what they want.
I'm sorry. When you say you were a producer, Liz,
yes.
What a producer in what field? A producer of what? And I don't understand all these fields well.
I worked in an advertising agency. It was called, we used to call it Bring It Back and Do It Over, but it's called BBDO. It's a big ad agency. And I worked on brands like, I worked on Orbit Gum, I worked on Jack Daniels, I worked on, back in the day, I worked on a very fun Canadian Club campaign. I worked on a lot of liquor brands. I worked on all the Wrigley gum brands and mints. I worked on a lot of food brands.
And your role as producer at that time was to do what?
My role was to work with creative teams who would come up with ideas. They would be like one of my stakeholders. And then I would have account teams who were the go-betweens between the agency and the clients. And we would take ideas, and my role was to get the ideas made.
Figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah, I would find the people that we would partner with. And I was an art producer, so I worked on a lot of like oddball projects. I didn't work on the TV commercials. I worked on print campaigns. I worked on murals. I worked on like all kinds of things.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So let's go.
Why don't we'll do a really simple prompt. Why don't we take the word you said earlier that really resonated with you was curiosity. So why don't we take curiosity as the prompt?
Okay, so let's say curiosity. All right, let's be really simple. Let's just say curiosity. So then there's the profile, and then I like to specify an aspect ratio. So I say AR 16:9, which is that wider aspect ratio. And then another thing that I always put in is dash dash R, which means repeat, and 4. So you get a lot of.
Oh, you get four groups of 4.
Yep.
Okay. And the other thing, Ann, is you need a space before the dash dash. So if you put your prompt, then you have a space, then your dash dash, whatever those other things are.
So the mood board is in your prompt, not in a.
The mood board is that code. When you do dash dash profile in that code, it's just automatically using the mood board that code represents.
And the thing about a mood board versus it's attaching an image for a style reference, a mood board is not going to take the average of all the images in the mood board. You're going to get like a disparate group of images if the mood board is made up of disparate images.
Yep.
You see how like.
See how different they are, but they're all in the same neighborhood, just, aesthetically. Can you do me a favor, Liz? Click on the slider icon in the prompt box. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Liz, if in this prompt box, if you click on that little thing in the upper right, if stylization is at 0, I found that mood boards often don't apply. So that's got to be higher than 0.
Yep. I keep it at 200, but you can go in and play.
You can go in and play, but if it's at 0, like it's one of the real frustrations I've had with style references and mood boards is Midjourney's weird with how it treats them. If that stylization's at 0, you won't get anything. So just make sure that's at 200, and then you should be getting results kind of like what Liz just created.
And then if you haven't played with it much, if there's one that you like, like this one's kind of groovy, you can. Except I would change this because it gave me this little bar.
Yeah.
Go in and boop, submit, close. But if there's something that you like, you can vary it. You can vary it strongly. You can remix it. That's kind of neat. See what happens. And, once you do one of those things once, the Copyright Office will allow you to copyright the work. That's as much as you actually need to do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's if you don't know that's a big change that happened about, 2 months ago, where the position of the Copyright Office for the past 2 or 3 years has been, you cannot copyright AI work. Correct. They've shifted that. So long as there's significant human contribution, which is what Liz just did by changing that thing and, doing it with intention, then it is copyrightable.
This one, come on.
I know, right?
And
Ken has a question for you.
Okay.
Curious, how do you make a profile? Where is it stored? That sort of thing. I know you entered it and there's a code, but like, what is the code referencing? Like, how do you create a code?
Great question. So Leah created that particular mood board, but I'm going to show you on mine. So can you see where I went to personalize? Can you guys see my personalized? So these are mood boards. Create mood board. So you go to create mood board, and then you just start uploading images. You can add links, or you can add from your gallery. So, I have various mood boards. I have, here, I'll show you this one, photogram. So here's kind of like a photogram mood board.
Or actually, that what would be really cool is just to show them, take this mood board code and you do the same word, curiosity. So the only thing she's gonna keep curiosity the same and do the other settings. The only thing different will be this mood board. And let's see what these images look like.
Okay. And you can combine mood boards also. So while we're doing that, I could take this photogram. I can take this mood board. I can say curiosity. And I can do the AI Salon mood board. I can do this mood board.
Oh, that's still cool.
Video 16, 9. And we're not going to repeat. We're just going to, because that takes too long.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's okay. Wait. He's using my mood board or your mood board?
That looks like the salon one.
Yeah, it does.
Use one at a time because then it's clear what's happening.
Oh, did it not let me combine? Huh. Let's try this again.
Oh, I think
I'm confused here.
I think you can use multiple SREFs, but maybe you can't use multiple mood boards.
Okay. Curiosity. Create a mood board.
Would you like me to tell you how to do that?
To do which one?
To get multiple mood boards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since
Go
we're
back
geeking
to where
out.
you're creating go to the slider
Yeah.
and then scroll down to where it says personalize and turn that off. Turn it on. And then use a little drop down arrow to scroll down to which mood boards you want, and you can check more than one in there.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Now, what if I'm adding the salon mood board?
You would have to add the P code at the end.
So I guess you'd pick the one from that box and then add the P code.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So here you go. So here's
There's curiosity with your mood board. that you
curiosity with the photogram. Yeah.
And it's just, this to me is such an unlock. If you haven't played with these things in Midjourney, you can really create, like I took some photographs that I made years ago and a bunch of different sets of them and made mood boards out of them. And at any point I can just go in and create something that looks like photographs that I took. It's an absolute unlock for creativity.
Yeah, and also for client work, you know, if they have a specific brand or a look and feel, it's a good way to bring it in.
Well, that was awesome. I think Kaki has a question, and then Angel does, and then we'll move on to the
I
meeting.
do. Could you repeat again the process for making sure your AI images have a copyright?
So, okay, I'm going to give you a piece of unsolicited advice. Go to the Copyright Office, and they have this 52-page PDF. They have 2 of them because they have 2 of their 3 like releases of their decisions, and upload it into Notebook LM, and then, which is what I did, and then ask questions of it. And I asked, how much do I need to change an image in order to be able to have it copyrighted? And it like takes you to the part of the document, right? It takes you right to the part of the document where it says, as long as you have, you know, if you use a prompt just out of the box, that's not enough. But if you add a variation or change it in some other way, bring it into Photoshop, obviously, and add layers and do different things. But a variation seems to be the enough-ish. I would imagine that it's a case-by-case basis.
Yeah. What they basically said is they're not going to treat an AI tool any different than any other creative tool, right? So you make an image with a digital camera, you know, you have to do some things to get it out of the camera, edit it, share it with the world, right? There's some human intervention there. So they're basically saying you need to do that with it. So it's, the burden is essentially identical to other forms.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to the Copyright Office right now to
There you
download
go.
that form. I'm excited. Thank you.
Good. Thanks, Kaki. Angel, quick question.
Can you guys hear me? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you guys.
Hey.
First time joining this group.
Great.
So I was excited that you guys did Midjourney. I love Midjourney. Was curious, you guys touch upon like using Comfy UI in specific. I'm looking for advanced prompting techniques, LoRa training, control net, and other tools that can like templates and stuff like that I can take it to the next level and just get that granular control. And then the second part, which is what I think Kaki had mentioned, in mainstream AI, what are some of the things that are being worked on for content, AI, intellectual property, and monetization and/or piracy? So yeah.
Well, the comfy UI and developing LoRa's and things like that, that's a workflow that I am like so novice. I don't, I'm like, watch me shrink. No, I'm not taking that one because I'm not ready to take that one, but it's something that one needs to take on.
Yeah.
It's painful. I just finished the LoRa training and it took like 8 hours on like an A100.
Yeah, no.
But,
I tend to avoid the open source stuff just because it changes too fast and things like that. On the monetization and the intellectual property and all that, the only thing I can say to you is it Angel or Angel?
Angel, depending on where you are.
Yeah. The only thing I would say there is I expect that the next 20 years are going to be nonstop lawsuits in both directions. And this is very not figured out. This is very much gray areas. A company just launched a new video model that's only based on, trained, licensed data. So I think you're going to start to see specialty models come up. You saw someone like Lionsgate cut a deal with Midjourney, so they're going to take all of their content and license it. And I would imagine that you will pay them on the generation, and then creators will be paid for that. So there are little fits and starts everywhere. I would say if you're curious about that, just pay lots of attention to it, and also come up with ideas and put them out there, because right now's the time you might come up with a protocol or a way to do some of that stuff that could make a huge difference for other people. So I would say just be curious, get in the salon and contribute.
Yeah, I find that super interesting because it's almost like a disconnect from mainstream AI, because I come from Web3, which is blockchain, and we're building protocols and tools that integrate smart contracts and the content. So that way you can even build in royalties onto the sale of the content, and we can track this stuff for originality on chain. So that way you're not getting a pirated version of that. So whenever I talk to mainstream AI, I'm always curious if they have any information from the blockchain world, or does it seem like it's pretty disconnected, where they're two separate worlds?
It's two separate worlds. I think the first place that you'll see a connection is around human identity with something like World ID.
We have that.
Yeah, because that's going to become increasingly a problem. And I think blockchain and tokenization is going to be important, but I would the NFT crowd needs to get their shit together, quite frankly. And it's probably going to be 3 to 5 years until that's really there. But that means there's opportunity in the next 3 to 5 years to be an innovator there. So that's my take on that. Let me. But thank you for the question and welcome. Let me shift gears now. I want to get to the meet and greet, but is there anyone from an AI Salon club or a Learn Out Loud? So we've got these new things called Learn Out Louds that Vicky can talk about. But if anyone's got anything for clubs and hubs that you want to promote over the next coming weeks, because we've got some new people here, please raise your hand and let's talk about some of the clubs that are coming up and some of the events. So Claire, I see your hand up.
Hi. So I have put my puppy in a place where it will not attack me while I speak today, because 2 weeks ago, you all got to hear me shriek, and I'm really sorry about that. I'm Claire. I am a co-leader of the AI Life Hacks with Brandon and Claire, or Claire and Brandon, as I like to call it, for obvious reasons. We have a meeting the Wednesday following this meeting. So that means tomorrow night at 5:30 Mountain Time, 7:30 Eastern Time. we meet and share ideas, life hacks. It's really, really, it's a great meeting. It's very cool, and everybody's invited. And if you can't come, we record it. But
yeah, and just to be clear, life hacks are like sort of personal uses of AI that make a difference, right?
thank you for explaining that. Absolutely, what it is. Yes,
Great.
yes.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, yeah, go.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Love it. Vicky.
Can you give it one example of what a life hack is?
Yes, actually, Liz just shared one. She went to the copyright office, took their information, threw it into Notebook LM or whatever, and said, "Hey, let me ask questions."
Yeah.
And so that would be a fabulous life hack.
Yeah.
For why is my stove not working, or how can I avoid prison time? Those kinds of important life questions.
That's awesome. Thank you, Claire.
No.
Claire, stop sharing my AI life hack search history.
Vicky.
That's my favorite use of AI, Claire, avoiding prison time. I'm glad you taught me that one. So, I just wanted to represent the Ethics Club, where I have to switch to a different screen so I can look at my invitation. On the 27th of March, Tony Rem will be talking about no safeguards, no limits, the ethical risks of AI and government data. And that is from 6 p.m. Central Time till we usually go for about an hour and a half, so until about 7:30. And Joy Purdy and I are the co-leaders of the Ethics Club.
Great.
And did you want me to go straight into LOLs, or do we have any other guild leaders?
I don't see anyone with their hands up. So yeah, just jump right into LOLs. And if you don't know, Vicky is our community manager at the salon. So if you've got questions on the salon, can't find something, don't know when something's happening, or just have questions about Mighty Networks, Vicky can answer lots of questions. But don't bug her with stupid stuff. But
I do my best. We found a need for people to have an opportunity to generously lead, which is one of our what do you call them? An ethos? I don't even know what it is. One of values. One of values. That's the word.
Brand pillar.
You'll notice, like, I get tongue-tied often because I don't like speaking to people. But I will speak to my salon friends. And so people were wanting an opportunity to lead. And there are people wanting information on different things that Kyle often covers in his AI learning lab. And then people just want, to be able to go and practice that. And so we kind of married the two together. And they're currently all happening on the weekends, usually a Saturday or a Sunday, but we could always do a weeknight as well. But this Sunday at 4 p.m. Central, Joe Reeves will be doing a workshop on Midjourney, and it's titled something like mood boards and SREFs and chaos, oh my, something like that. So Midjourney modifiers, basically, the session is about. So yeah.
And if someone wants to do a learn out loud, if someone wants to lead one, if they want to lull for the community, they just contact you and you can help arrange that.
Absolutely, yes. We need more lollers.
Yeah.
Even if there's something that you want to see and it's not something that you know how to do yourself, let me know and I'll find the right person to lead the workshop for you. We just had an excellent one last weekend with Cindy Kuhn talking about digital twins. And the recordings are in the salon. So if you missed it, you can go and watch it. And they're also on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. And again, this gets to values of generosity. Like if you've learned something and want to share that helps other people, but it also selfishly helps you get yourself out there as a leader in the community and someone who's got some stuff figured out, and it can make a really big difference. So thank you, Vicky. And hi, Lori. All right, great. Okay, so let me share my screen.
There's a hand raised.
Oh, there is. I didn't see it. Oh, Claire. Sorry, Claire.
That's okay. I just wanted to say that Kelly Camp put in the chat that she can't be here on screen, but to remind us all that the business club, I don't think you already said that, the business club is Thursday at 6:30 Central.
Okay, great. Yeah, again, go to the AI Salon, go to events, and you'll see it there. All right. So we're going to get
one more hand raised.
Yep, we're going to get the meet and greets. Yeah, Mark.
Mine is a meet and greet hand, but
Okay.
I've got two questions. The first one goes back to before, where we were talking about Midjourney and how much it costs, and that a lot of this stuff is not free, and it adds up very quickly. So you have a Chat GPT, and that's $20 a month, and then if you add on a Midjourney, it's $10 a month, and then there are a bunch of this. And I wonder if this group can put together any kind of a list of where a good reasonable budget would be spent on this stuff. And I know it'll change from time to time, but the or where you can get by with almost free. And
I think most things, with maybe the exception of video, you can find free versions of. Okay. Most of them, and even video, there's starting to be some open source stuff for that.
Yeah. Well, that was my sense, and so there are even alternatives to Midjourney, and there are alternatives to other things.
Yeah, Midjourney is fairly singular aesthetically. We're coming up tight on time, so if you don't mind, Mark, let me move on to
one quick thing, which is that, and I should volunteer and start this up. I'm very interested in young kids using AI. And especially case studies and examples of where a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old or a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old has used this stuff in ways that surprise people. And so I'd love to know about those if anybody does.
Okay, great. Fantastic. So if you have thoughts on that, connect in the chat. Kaki, you have your hand raised for meet and greet?
Yep, not for a meet and greet, just for a really quick, go to AI Explorer. I'll put the link in here, and that will show you what's freemium, what's free, what's not. Okay.
Perfect.
That's it.
Pop that in the chat. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay. So what we're going to do, Brandon, are you ready with the timer?
I am. Are we going full 2 minutes, or are we tightening it up today?
I think we're going to be good with 2 minutes, but we got a motor. So if you can go fast, go fast. But here's what we're going to do. So raise your hand. How you raise your hand is the little next to the share screen thing.
Hands.
The little hand like that. Click that, and then I'll call on people who've got their hand raised. If you don't raise your hand, I'm going to call on you anyway. So raise your hand. Then step 1, turn on your camera if at all possible. Step 2, tell us your name, where you live, what you do. And then this is kind of related to what Liz was talking about on purpose. I want you to share with people either something that you're making, something that you're producing, or something that you want to make with AI. And then what are you learning? Like, what are your big takeaways as you've been producing the thing? So especially if you've got a project, talk about it, or if there's something that you want to. And then what I would encourage you to do in the chat, if someone says they want to make something, but they haven't quite figured it out yet, but you have, connect with them. So start to connect with each other. So turn on your camera, name where you are, what you do, what's something that you're making or wanting to make with AI, and then what are you learning in that process? All right, got it? And I'll copy this and throw this in the chat if Vicky hasn't already, but she probably has. But I don't think I made her a co-host, so. But I will do that now.
Naturally a co-host. I signed in with the right account this time.
Oh, good. Okay, nice. Perfect. Okay, so I will start calling on people. And Liz, I'm going to demote us.
Okay.
we're going.
Okay.
Exactly. It's so sad. Okay, Josh Groves. I got to find you. There you are.
Unmuted. Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Great. Good to meet you guys.
Welcome.
All right, so I'm on the clock, I guess.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
So Josh Groves. Yeah, I'm in Phoenix now. I was in Denver. I moved here a little under a year ago. So I know you just said it 5 times. What are the other 2 things I was supposed to say?
Name where what's something that you're building right
Just what I'm
now
working on. Yeah.
or
Okay.
want to, and
Cool.
then what are you learning?
Yeah, I would love to share. I joined Salon probably like 2 years ago when you spoke at Creative Mornings, and I don't think I was super looking at it. You know, a lot of different things going on. And then sometime last year, started diving back in, probably when you posted that you made something on Lovable. And so I dove back in, just set up a new account, introduced myself, was at AI Festivus. That really was what I was looking for, and was super. I think everything we do here is life changing, just as a progression. And just to keep up with people from the outside, doing a lot of ideas, which is really cool. So thank you guys. I'm working on a browser extension that I started pretty much end of November, beginning of December. Trying to basically, if I can tell it what it is, if you guys don't steal it, but you can have it if you want to do it. It's called Write Note. So you right click like anything else, you click Write Note, sticky note pops up, it's draggable. You can format it like your text, has it populate. You can do voice notes, speech to text. It's going to have some AI stuff. But when I first, and I have a decent working prototype right now in Chrome, it's just, I've moved away from the Lovable Bolt stuff, but we can talk about more of that later. I have opinions on all that. My experience, having zero coding experience whatsoever, like zero, just definitions and anything I have had to, look up and learn. So I've probably got several hundred conversations between Claude, ChatGPT. I'm like, thought I was going to put in Notebook LM and figure it all out, and now I'm in the middle of coding, like realizing,
Beautiful,
like that.
Love it. Thank you, sir. Love it. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Nice to see you again. Ann Murphy.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ann Murphy. I'm in Corvallis, Oregon, which is where the Oregon State University Beavers exist. And I'm building lots of cool things, a lot of them related to community. So it's been really cool to implement all the things that I can in building and growing community. And this includes She Leads AI, which is a brand that includes an academy, an AI consulting agency, mostly AI adoption in small, medium-sized businesses, and society. So we have a membership organization and public policy and advocacy. So She Leads AI is sheleadsai.ai, which I encourage you to check out because one of our very favorite designers in our community, Marisol Rios, created the design, and it's gorgeous. And then the other thing that I'm building is with Kyle Shannon. We have the AI Readiness Project podcast that we thought of one day and 4 days later launched. And it's what you would expect from us. It's fun. It's disorderly.
It's tomorrow.
And it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Mountain. It's live streaming on She Leads AI and on AI Salon and all over the place. So, and we have a guest on every week. So if you want to be on our podcast, and we're talking about AI readiness.
Yeah. So
what are you learning? Never work with Kyle is probably one of them.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm in this another big growth phase where everything is something new, you know? And what I've been enjoying recently is learning how to make AI dream teams. Kay Stoner is somebody to follow, everybody. K-A-Y Stoner. Her specialty is building AI personas that talk to each other inside like ChatGPT or Claude. Nice. And our whole group is our brains are melting. That's been fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Ann. Good to see you. Claire Jacobs.
I'll go fast. Claire Jacobs, San Antonio, Texas. I'm a psychologist and a life coach. I recently created an app in Lovable that just blows me away that I created an app in Lovable that is aimed at women primarily. I guess anybody could use it. People with suffering from imposter syndrome. So if you're interested, just hit me up. And the thing that I'm working on is what Liz was talking about earlier. I think it was she that was saying she's having to power through this idea that she's not technical And so I'm going through similar kinds of shifts myself. And whoever said this is life changing, I think that might have been Josh. AI, all of AI is life changing. Kyle, the salon, the learning lab changed my life huge, and I can't thank you enough.
Ah, sweet. Thank you very much, Claire.
You're welcome.
Bob.
Hi guys, Bob Donegan in my backyard, Powell, Ohio. I'm a realtor for 30 years, and I probably use the AI in my office most effectively this week. A year ago, the NAR came up with a 110-page lawsuit that came out, and it dramatically changed how real estate was perceived and done. And for the last year, everybody and their grandmother has interpreted it however way they wanted to, and we're still arguing. I have 450 agents in my office, and there's 9,000 different opinions upon it. And I put together the Notebook LM and let it discuss it. And I did it just for my group. I mean, I have 10 people, and I did it in our office, and almost 75 people just heard us doing it. And it became a giant chat session. Two of the people honestly thought that there was like a wizard in the background in another room talking to them because they'd never seen anything like that. And because it had a woman's and a man's opinion, it totally changed the interaction, because it also was an expert. It wasn't biased. So our brokerage is now going to change the way we do business because of it.
Wow, that's crazy.
It is. And here's the funny part. No one agreed upon anything, but after we listened to it through that means, we really understood it a whole lot better. And because people had all kinds of different questions about it, they could ask that and get answers, and it wasn't from us with our biases.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Yeah, if you don't know what Bob's talking about, if you go to notebooklm.google.com, upload a PDF or upload some document, some sales process you've got, and then say make an audio overview of it. I think they might call it something different now. You'll get this podcast back of these people talking objectively about your thing. It's remarkable. So that's great use case. That's again, Mark Prensky. That's a really good example of a life hack. It's just a super clear use case and amazing. Thank you, Bob.
My pleasure. Awesome. I wanted to thank Kaki for sending over that website. I can't remember the name of it again now, but it had a AI Explorer. That's a huge resource. I can't believe how well that looks.
Oh, great. Awesome. Lori.
Hi there. I am Lori Ryan. I am in Minnesota, and today I'm with Vicky. And last night it was Vicky, myself, and Kaki, and Chris, Bruno, and we were all together. And that was one of the coolest things I think about the AI Salon is getting to know people in person. So it was absolutely fabulous.
You down here. Beautiful.
Sorry, yeah, she's talking on my screen.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right.
So what do? I play all day. I just have fun trying things and trying to break things and seeing what happens. And today I had a friend come over and she's helping organize a conference on Friday for communication experts. And we built a little GPT as a little information event guide for when people come on Friday. So I'm super excited to get that in front of communication professionals. And tomorrow I'm really excited about a custom GPT workshop that I'm going to be doing. And I was going to pull out Vicky's GPT that she built to help build chat GPTs. And I'm like, well, guess what? She created this to scale herself, but she is here today. So I'm just super excited.
Beautiful. Love it. Thank you. Charles.
Hey, sorry about the camera quality. I've got some kind of schmutz on my lens.
I was gonna say, would you take that thing on a like motocross trail?
I am a carpenter, so I probably got dust in it. I don't know.
That's great.
Anyway, amongst other things, I'm a carpenter, I'm a hypnotherapist, and I'm an author. And I have been using AI recently to actually make money by writing short form stories and publishing them on Draft to Digital. And I am now taking that and your idea of the vibe storytelling. I've got the vibe, I spun up the Vibe Cinema
YouTube channel.
And I'm taking and my novel and pulling some little short stories out of it with side characters that have nothing to do with the main narrative. I'm going to put those in short form audio with 11 Labs and throw them on YouTube with a couple of I don't know, little looping clips, video clips, something like that, and try to build that up. So I've got Vibe Cinema, and now I'm writing for actual money and doing great things.
Love it.
And it just snowballs as I add more to it. You know, I'm trying to do it in just a single 3-hour time block every single day.
That's good. So that's actually a good life hack. So because Jim Ross does that as well, where he sets a timer. So you're doing a block and trying to do AI for a disciplined amount of time.
Right. The goal is I've got to write it and publish it all in that 3-hour block every single day.
That's good. I like that. Okay. That's solid. Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you. Scott Arndt.
Hi, I'm Scott. I am in Mid-Coast, Maine. I grow facial hair. And what I'm producing is a series of podcasts with some experts. And then we're going to take the transcripts of those podcasts, feed them to an AI, and ask for a set of policies based on these experts and their discussions. So that's what I'm producing. That's what I'm learning how to do.
What are you learning and doing it? What are the frustrations? What have you got your head around?
What are my frustrations? I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Last time I was here, I went on a little anti-corporate rant, and I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to figure out a way to do it with a open source model that will run on the cloud, but controlled by me, so that if anybody's going to win on this one, it'll be me and the people who do the work.
Nice. Love it. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Pleasure to have you here. Don Christie.
Hey, Kyle, AI Festivus. It's been like 3 months since I saw you.
I know, right?
I'm so happy to be here. Yeah, so Don Christie in Chicago, where it's 60 degrees and then it drops to 20. So we're all having sore throats right now. I didn't hear anybody mention Gamma. And so I do AI and cybersecurity and the intersection of the two. And I discovered the Gamma app, and talk about putting money in and getting money out. It's $10 a month. And I've used it for paid talks that I've done. And what's really cool is you can make some really, really nice slides in a very short amount of time. And what I did this week was I gave a talk on like a week ago, and then I took a mini version of those slides and I turned it into a LinkedIn carousel, because you can download it to a PDF, move it up to LinkedIn and make a carousel. So it's a really inexpensive way to make slides if you have to do that for presentations. The thing that I want to learn is more about the imaging. I'm an ambassador now, a brand ambassador on She is AI magazine, and the artwork in that is incredible. And so it's really inspiring me, and hearing what's going on tonight is to learn, Q2 is to learn some imaging that I can use. Right now, I've been using Gamma to create images, which you can do. And I use that as the header for my series on Women's History Month on LinkedIn. So Gamma is a pretty cool, inexpensive tool. I guess that's my life hack.
Great. Love it. What I would say, if you want to learn this stuff right now, the two that I would play with, I personally think Midjourney is worth paying for.
Okay.
Go on X and look for people sharing SREFs that are kind of like mood boards we played with tonight.
Okay.
And lots of people are sharing them, so you can just pick different styles and just go experiment with them. The other tool that I would play with is just ChatGPT can make images. If you've never made images, just tell it to make you an image and it will. And then the third one I would say is Ideogram, IDEOGRAM.ai. The thing that's good about it is it can incorporate words into images more accurately than other tools. So depending on your use cases, those are the three I'd start with, and just go put in an hour tonight, and you will blow your own mind. So.
I use Ideogram to create because their prompt adherence is so high.
Yeah.
I don't love the artistry of it, but I use it to create image references that I upload into Midjourney if I need a very specific composition.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, it's really good that
Thank
way.
you.
Yeah, and in fact, with Ideogram, do something like give me an image with these 25 objects in it and just watch what it does. It's kind of nuts. Roger Scott, speaking of artists, reluctant artists, how are you, sir?
Hi, Roger Scott. I live in Boulder. I'm a retired software engineer. And so I used to do a lot of stuff in Midjourney a couple years ago. Just it kind of tapered off after a while. Not quite sure exactly what happened, but I have an opportunity fairly soon. The Rocky Mountain AI Interest Group, which is here in Boulder, is having a meeting dedicated to people basically showing off their AI stuff. And it's mainly, more technical applications, but it's pretty broadly open. So it's a chance to also show, if you do artistic stuff, show off that. So I'm hoping to show some new stuff and trying to sort of get re-fired up. So I've been playing around with ChatGPT, something I've never done before, using ChatGPT to help with prompt creation and trying to think about what stuff I used to do when prompting that seemed to be useful, and see if ChatGPT can suggest more stuff along those lines or new stuff I haven't thought of. I've only just started exploring this. I'm not like super jazzed with the help it's given me so far, but it's early days, so I'm not giving up on it.
Yeah, I would say, and muck with the reasoning, muck with all the different models, because they're all just weirdly different, and you might find one that's really good at it. So awesome. Thanks, Roger. Good to see you. Okay, so raise your hands. If you haven't raised your hand yet, please raise your hand, because I will call on you. It'll be like elementary school, and you'll be embarrassed, and it'll be bad. You'll cry. Kaki.
Hey, y'all. I'm Kaki Fitzsimmons. I live in the Twin Cities, about 15 minutes south of the Mall of America. I have been looking for. I just put that in as a reference point, if that means anything, right?
That's good. I like it. It's solid.
My background is in organizational change management, project management, strategic planning. I've been out of work for just about over a year. And so I'm trying to figure out how can I make money doing this? Two, I have my blog. I have a blog that's on WordPress, and it's free, and that's what I like about it for right now. But if anybody has suggestions for, I need to completely revamp my About Me page because it's just too busy. And I really just wanted to say, here are the problems I solved. Keeping it simple. So if anybody has any suggestions for resources on that, I'd be grateful. I've been toying around a little bit with ChatGPT. And so open to any suggestions or links that you want to give me or best practices would be great. I've done web setup before. I used to write children's books. And so for 7 years, had 2 websites, one towards children and parents and one towards the business side of our thing. So I understand it, but I'm not a coder.
Yeah.
So that's.
Is there anything you're particularly working on or want to that you haven't gotten to yet?
Well, immediately, how can I start making money right now with nothing?
Yeah.
because my goal really right now is to find a job.
Got it.
I stopped getting my unemployment last July, so that's on my.
It's time. Nice. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Clear focus. All right. Great. Awesome.
Yep, thanks.
Good to see you, Brandon.
Hello, I am Brandon. I am the co-leader of the AI Life Hacks Club with Claire and Brandon. We are meeting tomorrow night to talk about a lot of the stuff that we've talked about tonight so far. So I've heard making children's books. I've heard job hunting. All of these things kind of fall under the umbrella of life hacks. So we do hope you join us all tomorrow. We can deep dive into any topic. We don't really have a set agenda in that group. We just kind of make it up as we go along, and it's always a good time. I am in Cleveland, Ohio, and I am a software architect by day. So I work at sit at the intersection of AI and CX and customer experience and how the AI world is impacting the customer service world. And in my spare time, I make JellyPod AI podcasts for my kids about science and other fun things. And so if you haven't played around with JellyPod yet, and you have questions about how you too can be a podcast host, contact me, because I know about as much about that platform as the guys who founded it at this point. They've been great to work with, and it's a really cool platform. What I am currently working towards is I'm doing some pre-work. Lovable is the AI coding platform. They are having a hackathon next weekend, the 28th into the 29th, in your local time, 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. You have 24 hours to launch a product or launch a project with Lovable. It's partnered with Claude Anthropic and Supabase, which is the backend databasing tool. They are giving out a cash prize of $10,000 for the winning record. So what I'm trying to do is come up with a plan of something that I can do in 24 hours, leaning towards mental health awareness and mental health support, but just trying to learn a lot about that world ahead of the contest in the hackathon.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you, sir. Angel.
Can you hear me? Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm a business owner for online paid subscription websites. Been doing that since 2000, and then dived into blockchain since 2020. So currently, right now, I'm doing also web meetups, connecting people in the Web3 community throughout the world. So I travel to every country, just creating communities, and then putting people together. Currently, the two projects I'm working on now is Story Foundation, where we tokenize the content on chain, and you can license out your content trustlessly. And you get royalties for life, instant payments right into your wallet with stable coins. So it's a different way of doing, I guess, stock footage, right? So that's solving the problem of your content creation and getting paid for it. And then the second project, which is pretty interesting, is twintone.ai, and it's basically create and earn money with your own AI twin. You create a video Laura of yourself, and once that's done, the user can come on in and talk to you, but you don't have to do the work. So it's basically like a video dating app using AI. So instead of you being there talking to the customer, it's already done. So I think I put the link in the chat. You guys can check it out. We're in our funding seeding round right now, but we'll have it launched later on this year.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
Cool.
Thank you, sir. Waziri.
Hello, how are y'all? My name is Waziri Garba. I am a management consultant based in Austin, Texas, and spent most of my career early on in finance, trader at Goldman, etc. But I moved to Austin 13 years ago, and with my wife, have just been building businesses essentially. So I guess I was blessed 18 months ago when a private equity firm brought me in and said, answer whatever questions our CEOs have on AI. And so
nice,
which is amazing. So I just spent the last little year and a half building like a database in Airtable with like all my favorite AI tools and just trying to break every single one of them possible. And so now I've got like my favorites, and it's really for me just a productivity hack conversation. Like every single time somebody says something, it's what's the permutation? Can I make it in make.com? Here you go. So all these tools that are coming online, I would say I've been really diving into what's it called? Manus, which I just on Friday. Trying to break it, created a Tesla dashboard to see when I should sell or if I should buy or whatever is going to happen in that world. But I've really been in love with creating. I shared a link in there on read.ai. These kind of deep dives for my consulting community on what do we do with this tool? Like, how do we take transcripts from calls and like data mine them so that we look better to our clients? And so it's just kind of every tool is really just a node on a highway to getting it done.
Beautiful. And
that's cool.
You haven't gone insane trying to keep up with all this? Please, come on, dude. Come on.
You know what? When there's too much, I just stop. I've got a backlog of emails from there's an AI for that and a neuron. It's just stop at some point. And at some point, if anybody figures out or wants to work with me, I've got this huge database. I've just got to process thousands of emails and say, okay, just put it into the appropriate fields. And then you can query it and say, what's the best tool for me based on the way I have it set up. I have too much data to sort through before I can do that.
Amazing. Anyway, more power to you, man. Congrats and welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nagawa?
Yeah, the second one. Yeah. So I am Nagawa. I'm in London, and yeah. So I'm a strategic marketing and sustainability strategy consultant, and I've been delving into sort of like synthography and like kind of like creating like AI animations. Yeah, and so my next thing is like She Is AI has got like a competition for like to create like a short movie, so under 3 minutes. So that's kind of the next thing I'm going to be working on, because they have different categories, and where you can use like talk about Afrofuturism or like create in that style, and talk about like African culture and things like that. So or different types of cultures. So I'm trying to look into like submitting in several categories. So that's my next goal. So I'll see how that goes.
Love it. Love it. What's the big thing you're learning these days? What's got your mind expanding?
Oh, that was last night with Anne when Kay Stoner was telling us about personas. That was just, oh
Just
my God.
bonkers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Wow.
that was, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get on that like tomorrow to later on today. After I get up in the morning, I'm gonna start building a set, because yeah, that's great for it's great for so many use cases. So yeah, that had my mind blown.
Awesome. Thank you. Nice having you.
Thanks.
Chris Bruno is the last person with their hand up, and I know not everyone is gone. Mark Prensky.
I reluctantly share. So I am Chris Bruno or Houston. I'm from 10 miles east of the Mall of America. And I was lucky to meet in real life with Vicky Baptiste and Lori Ryan and Kaki. So we met in real life on St. Patrick's Day. Two of them had green beers, and I won't share who. So that was really fun and thanks for this community for bringing us together like that in real life and that community spirit. So I'm just like a corporate hack now, reluctantly now kind of being tapped to lead AI or AI readiness, for lack of a better term, of our global communications team for a Fortune, I guess we're 14 company. And so if you look in your cupboards, my company is all over your cupboards right now, probably. Yeah. So what am I really excited about?
Or what are you building, or what do you want to build?
Yeah, exactly. So I really want to do digital twins of all our executives, basically. I've tried to float that idea, and so we'll see how that goes. And just really, it's really exciting to see people learn aloud and get really excited about AI. And now we're dismissing vendors at a fast clip because my people know it better now. And so it's really empowering, and then seeing people do the Kevin McAllister, and their work. So yeah, so that's what I'm working on. I am not really into the video or any of the mid journeys or any of the visual stuff. It's more kind of the written word and strategy of company making. But
yeah.
So if anybody is a corporate hack and you want to like grab a coffee, let me know. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you, Chris. If you've got if your corporation is one that they listen to outside people more than inside people on the digital twin thing, we're doing an offering out of Content Evolution. So just hit me up if that's something that you guys are looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be a really good idea.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Okay, good. Mark Prensky. Muted. You're muted. Mark Prensky, you're muted.
He is no longer muted. I'm so impressed by the geographical distribution of this group. What I've been working on is I'm interested in young people, as I said earlier. I'm working on an app for judgment, to teach judgment, and to help people learn to make better judgments in any area. And we have a way to do that, and involves, I just wrote down, it's what Kyle has talked about, is taste. And how do you build that in somebody? And the way I do it is through binary choices, lots of hundreds of them, and getting feedback. And so we're building an app to do that, and I'm trying to figure out how to use AI most effectively in that, to produce both the content and what other things we can do. I'm very interested in ideas, and so hopefully we can increase kids' judgment, well, everybody's, but especially kids' judgment, because that's what they keep claiming kids don't have these days.
Nice. Beautiful. Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Bob Mitten, are you available to chat? Introduce yourself.
Sure.
Told you I'd call on you.
Hello, sir. So Bob Mitten, I am an AI adoption consultant. So I help companies take their AI ambitions and turn it into reality. So strategy, deployment, and governance. History is I used to work at VMware. I was one of the founding members of the AI Council there. And so actually Ann Murphy, I don't see her face anymore, but she's the one that recruited me to speak at AI Festivus.
Oh,
and
nice.
so that's how I got here. So if anybody has a company that's interested in going through that change management of AI adoption and enablement and governance, let me know. That's what I do. But what I wanted to talk about was a passion project that I'm working on, actually with a couple other people. And we're trying, so I do a lot of stuff because I live in a rural area just outside of Silicon Valley. And we had some big fires a couple years ago, and lots of confusion. And then we had the big fires. My partner works down in LA, big fires down there. What we had was a need for information. And so what I'm trying to build is a standalone app that I can give away that would be a one-stop place to go for information that is personalized to you. So I'm going through right now is trying to figure out, okay, no code, low code, what app, platforms, whatever, and then what's not going to break the bank, right? How can I get something that's either free or really low cost that I can do? So if anybody has suggestions about that, I would love to hear it.
Yeah, or wants to partner or whatever. Yeah. And Bob, if you haven't done it, in the AI Salon, there's a channel called Call for Collaborators. So if you articulate what you're up to and want someone to work on that with you, that's something you can do in there as well.
Okay. Thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir. Cindy Champagne.
Please don't steal my idea.
Building stuff is way too hard.
It's a passion project. Come on. So, yeah.
A team here. There's no stealing. This is working together and supporting each other.
That's it.
I'm Cindy Champagne. Can you hear me very well?
Yeah, sound good.
Okay, good. Good, because I'm on my phone. I'm having technical difficulties. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, just outside of Calgary. And my background was administrative work. And then I did go into legal assistant work and found that that was not quite a good fit for me. And now I'm semi-retired, and I found Kyle and then the AI Salon I think it was at the end of February in 2023. So I've been a bit of a lurker, unfortunately, and I apologize for that. I haven't been that productive, although I do have some deep interest for AI to support my, I guess it would be chronologic changes to embrace growing. I'm chronologically gifted. And I'm also very fortunate that I do live out in a beautiful spot. So one of the things that I would like to do is automate a passive solar greenhouse. So that's one of the things that I'll be working on. And I also have some AI overwhelm based in what should I use to deal with a family civil legal matter that's been going on for 20 years. And I really just would like to get a declaration from the court that it wasn't my family that did anything wrong, and that it seems that we were naive and we were taken advantage of. And I would like to at least have a position where the case authority can at least have a declaration that would say, hey, had the teams, had the parties been more on a level. Okay, I'm done. If I was a billionaire, if my family was a billionaire, we would have been better. Thank you so much.
There you go. Thank you, Cindy. Paul.
Hi, my name's Paul Tatangos. I live in Santa Cruz, California. I'm a photographer. I've done commercial photography and fine art photography for eons, and I'm enjoying image making immensely, always have, and doing a lot of generative art with Midjourney and other things. And the thing I'm kind of excited about now is finding new ways to combine that with not only my digital photography, but with film photography. So I've dusted off my old Leica, and I've been shooting black and white film and going out every day, switching between cameras, between that and the digital, and then finding new and interesting ways how to combine all of those three things and try to make some art. So that's keeping me real busy, and I'm kind of focused on that a lot. And I've loved people as a subject, and I live in a beautiful area, so combining that with the cultures here and the nature here and other places, it's kind of infinitely interesting. So
Love it. That's amazing. Have you played around with Runway's new first frame styling feature with video?
I have not. I'm so laser focused on still images that I'm afraid if I venture too far out of that, even into video, I might kind of lose my place.
That's great.
I may have to look into it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Thank you, Paul. Awesome. Ken Macy, I don't think you've gone. Did you go?
Hello, how's it going?
Hello.
Just curious. Okay, let's see. Questions were, oh yeah, I'm Ken Macy. I live in Denver, about, hold on, 906 miles from Mall of America. I'm an animator by trade.
I think that's got to be a new thing. Everyone's relative distance from Mall of America is good.
An animator by trade. I was also in digital advertising for about 20 years. And probably worked for BBDO at some point. So hello. Along with a bunch of other places. What else? What's the other questions? Oh, what am I doing?
What's something you're building, or what's something you want to build with AI?
Well, I mean, other than kind of using the more generic uses for these things for work in general, I've been I had a pretty rough year last year, and I thought AI would be a good way for me to sort of get some art therapy. So I'm working on a little film. It's kind of grim, a little bit weird, but it's a nice way for me to sort of like wrap up the year and put it in a little thing. So that's been an interest of mine to kind of try to like put something together that sums it all up for me to blurb and get out of my system. And then I've been using Lovable for streamlining some of my processes at work as well, which has been really helpful. It's a lot of minutia and just like whatever, resizing images 1,000 times, that sort of thing. So I've been just building some small little web apps to help me out with that kind of stuff. And that's about it, I guess. Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you very much.
Sure.
Thanks for being here. Karen. Kenyatta something. Kenyatta something. Wait, where is it over here? Kenyatta. Sarah, got your hand raised.
Yeah, hello everyone. So Sarah Storm from San Diego. I'm in marketing, but currently looking for full-time employment. So I've been kind of diving into little tools here and there just to kind of keep up with the rapid evolving landscape. But one thing that I want to explore, and I'm not sure how to go about it, so hopefully someone here within the salon can help. My husband is an artist. He works in clay, and he does a lot of imagery on the clay surface. And I want to be able to take the imagery on the clay surface and make it digital to potentially use in just pictures. Perhaps, we do, t-shirts or whatever type of merch to go along with it. But I'm afraid of if I upload it to some platform, that the imagery could be used by somebody else. And so would love to learn from some folks how to what tools best to be used and, copyright protections.
Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you. Welcome. Sure. Serena.
Kyle, I thought we had an understanding. If I don't look at you, you don't pick me. I know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in Portland, Oregon, 1,425 miles from Mall of America. I am a school psychologist, and I've decided, I actually really like my job for the most part. And even if I had $1 billion, I'd probably keep doing my job. I would just feel less stressed.
Mm.
I'm using AI already just to help me rewrite things or to write something that I would write in a sentence, because a sentence is enough, to make it a little longer and explain better than I might. I still want to use AI for all kinds of things. I saw a video just this past week that seemed super interesting. The person suggested that a good business idea would be to put one of those little booths that you sometimes see in airports, to put one in a retirement home and set it up where it would prompt the person to tell about their life. And then for free, share those things back to the family. And that would be a selling point to that retirement home. And I was like, that really sounds cool. And of course, people are going to copy you and come in after you, but I could still see it being really lucrative to set some of those up. I don't know. It sounds interesting to me anyway.
Love it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for being a good sport. Speaking of good sports, Vicky.
She went home because she has to be in before dark. Sorry. I was late because there was traffic and I forgot what traffic was. Because I live in Little Bloomington. This is like a big Bloomington. Yeah, I've lost my questions now. Sorry, I was helping Laurie learn out loud over here. I'm Vicky. I am from Bloomington, Illinois, not Bloomington, Minnesota. And I'm a language engineer, about to change positions to the product owner of our enterprise search tool.
Okay.
Something I am making, still making a GPT every day, and going back and improving on previous ones that I've made. And what I'm learning from everyone. Like I'm learning by sharing, because I'm such an introvert. I don't like to share, as you know, Kyle. But like kind of forcing myself into that space, and probably at the point where people want to tell me to shut up. But I'm getting there.
Great.
That's
Awesome.
it.
Brandon, I see your hands up and the timer seems broken, or you're not there.
Yeah, no, I am here. I just forgot. I figured Vicky is timeless. She doesn't really care. But I'm raising my hand
Yeah, it's
because
timeless.
Timeless.
Oh, timeless. Okay, sorry.
While we were chatting, since everybody is particularly interested in how far they are from the Mall of America, I made a custom GPT that calculates how far you are from the Mall of America.
What do? Put in your zip code?
Yep, you put in your zip code, and let me go ahead
You
and
can share it.
let
This
me
is
share my
awesome.
screen.
Sorry, that's not accurate enough. Zip
This
code.
can also be a Claude app. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
So I said my zip code is 44202. And it's saying, okay, it'll take you 11 to 12 hours to drive, direct flight, biking. Then it gets some more creative
Dog
options.
sledding.
If I wanted to go dog sledding, 5 to 6 days, pogo sticks, several months. Not recommending crawling. But then there's some fun facts about the Mall of America. And then if I didn't want to go that far, it's giving me some local shopping options, which I didn't prompt it to do. I literally just said, give me a custom GPT that shows me the distance from Mall of America from a given location. Make sure you include practical and ridiculous ways to get there. So
Awesome.
that took about 4 seconds, as long as it took me to type the prompt. So I just dropped the link in the chat. So
just amazing. Thank you, sir. All right. Well, if anyone else wants to go, raise your hand. I'll call on you. If not, you have successfully avoided being called on. which is I'm not happy about, but because I'd love to hear from everyone. But Liz, that was awesome. That was just amazing.
This was really fun. I think now you have to have a question every time your relationship.
And your relationship to Mall of America. I think it's really good. Or the closest roadside attraction, or famous roadside attraction, or theme park.
The mystery spot in Michigan.
Yeah. And any insights pop into your mind from tonight?
Okay, that's a sure way to have zero insight.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
This was it was so interesting to hear what people are thinking about, and I really appreciated it. If I were to add, something that I've been thinking about is, and this maybe isn't for this time, but it's a general question, is there are all these possibilities, the more we practice with these tools, of the things that we can make and the way that we can string together workflows in new ways. And that's what's really exciting. And there are a lot of things, like for non-coders, when do we use Lovable versus a Claude 3.7? What are the great use cases for Manus, which, those of us who are lucky enough to have gotten our hands on and have been implementing some tools with that. I think those would be some interesting things I'd love to, find out from the community.
Yeah, the thing that I'm struck with is something that you said in our conversation, and I saw it. Bob, behave yourself. Put lady me away. I made a lady version of me last night. It did not go well. You said something earlier that I thought was quite profound, which was, you came up with a specific idea and you kind of ran deep with a single tool, and then you sort of got to the bottom with that tool and that idea, and you realized, oh, I've got to expand out for that. And I just love that idea of, having a simple and then letting that idea kind of blossom through these tools, and learning, the fact that you're now doing VS Code and launching apps that maybe started as I'm making pictures in Midjourney. The journey from that to where you are is just fascinating to me.
Yeah, I think it comes back to this idea of, play first or experiment without attachment. Experiment without attachment to what it is that don't be too serious about it. Just become proficient. Start to have a practice and practice these things. And the more you practice them, the less you really have to think about it. So they serve the idea. It's like, I'm trying these tools. I'm trying to come up with an idea for the tool. It doesn't make sense to me. But when you practice and just it becomes like a second nature, then the ideas emerge and we know how to make them now.
Well, and that's, then you do go into the, the Rick Rubin space, right? You just have an intention and you're committed to that intention, and then you'll sort of figure out what tools to flow through, I suppose.
Some work and some don't. Yeah.
Some work and some don't, right? Yeah. And just be, have guts enough to go, yeah, that one doesn't work, throw it out. We'll make more, right?
Don't hoard them.
Yeah, exactly. Don't hoard your outputs. I know that's all right, everybody. Well, Liz, thank you so much as always, and thank you for sharing so much of your story tonight. I know that was kind of spontaneous at the last minute, but I feel like because you've been in this monastic, self-imposed, monastic AI living, you've made some real remarkable progress, and I just wanted people to share that. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. Have yourself a fantastic.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for being here. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.